Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here to give you a TNA review. Um, See, the past 2 weeks, TNA was shit, and I didn't want to watch it. Watched it this week. I thought this was a pretty good show. This has been improving from the last couple of weeks. Um, and this was actually, I thought, better than Raw. Like, I don't even get me started on that. But yeah, let's get right into the TNA review. We started off with yeah, we got this TNA happened last night, which was February 6th, 2014, and we get Jeremy Borash and Mike Tenay on commentary. And we started off with Abyss versus Eric Young in the Monsters Ball match. Um, Before the match starts, Abyss and Eric Young are brawling backstage, and then when it eventually leads to the win, it starts. And Abyss dominates him for a while, but then Eric Young's able to grab a pipe and attack him with the pipe, but Abyss fights him off. Wins some chairs and stuff in the win, and wins like the trash can full of weapons in the win. Eric Young fights him off though. There was a suicide dive on Abyss, and then Abyss ends up hitting a choke slam. Eric Young kicks out. And then Abyss grabs a bag filled with thumbtacks, dumps them on the ground. And then Eric Young does a sunset flip into the thumbtacks. And right when I saw Abyss get the thumbtacks out, I knew Abyss was going to be the one going into the thumbtacks. Because anytime a wrestler that brings out the thumbtacks, that wrestler will get put into the thumbtacks. And yeah, that's exactly what ended up happening. And then let me think what else. Oh yeah, and then yeah, Abyss had set up a table earlier in the match, and Eric Young was on the top rope, but Abyss punched him and he landed right through the table. I kind of thought it was really did one punch and he went right through the table, awkward. And then he gets him in the brain and he brings out Janice. And if you don't know what Janice is, because I didn't know what Janice is, it's like a bat with like a bunch of nails in it that Abyss uses as like a weapon. And before he can use it, Eric Young unmasked him, and we found out that he's Joseph Park. About time. TNA is gonna end this Abyss Joseph Park thing. Joseph Park is Abyss. It's been what, like 2 years now, and they are just revealing it. Thank God. But Joseph Park or Abyss, whatever you want to call him, does the Black Hole Slam and Eric Young gets the win. And then he looks in the mirror like he can't believe he's Abyss. I don't get why he wouldn't believe. Like, the storyline doesn't make really much sense either, because, like, I remember Slammiversary, when I didn't see the match, but I saw the highlights on YouTube, when Bully Ray was facing Joseph Park, and Joseph Park and then a guy came out like dressed like Abyss, and you were supposed to believe that they were two people, so it's like, what was that supposed to mean? So, I don't know. It's really, I think they've done so many things with the storyline that it's really illogical. So it's like, whatever. Um, but yeah, we found out that Abyss is Joseph Parker, and I actually wondered too, like, how would he not know he put on that the costume, Abyss's costume? So I wonder what he thinks if he ever like took off the costume. I don't know. But then Bobby Roode and Dixie Carter are backstage. Bobby Roode has the contract for the lockdown because he wants a world championship shot, but Dixie Carter can't give him the shot because of this new investor, which is MVP. If you don't remember that, Montel Vontavious Porter. She gives him a chance to become the number one contender against Samoa Joe. Bobby Roode's pissed because he's done all of her dirty work for him, and he's the reason that Stin or AJ Styles isn't around anymore. And then MVP comes out and talks for the first time, cuts his promo. He says that he's been around and he's seen that people wanted to do things, and then that they want to do, and when he was younger, it got him into some trouble, and he loves professional wrestling. He loves it. But he wants to see wrestling change. He wants to make TNA better because of the management. It's been going downhill, and that's kind of true. And then Rockstar Spud comes out, and he says that like he wants to he wants to have like a conference with Dixie Carter. Well, he wants MVP to come have a conference with Dixie Carter, and MVP agrees to do this. To be fair, and he also makes Magnus versus Kurt Angle in a non-title match. I thought that was fine. I like MVP in this role. I like MVP. I like MVP a lot. When I saw him in WWE, I thought this guy was going to be a world heavyweight champion. It didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like he still because he was still saying the same stuff he would, like bottle popping, beer dropping, and something like that. Hell raising, trail blazing, death defiant. No, wait, that's Sabo. But like he would say like his catchphrase when he would introduce the VIP lounge that he used to have. So he's still like it feels like that he's still MVP from when he was in WWE. I like his like I think I like that they're not like having him be like some new guy. Bully Ray's backstage, and he said that next week he's gonna put Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kennedy in a coffin or the casket, whatever you want to call it, and then but he says tonight someone is going into that casket. And then we announced that in 3 weeks, Kurt Angle will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it's going to be in England. I don't know if this is going to be like a legit Hall of Fame induction or if this is going to be like a work and if someone was going to interrupt his Hall of Fame, like someone interrupted, like when the Aces and Eights interrupted Stin's Hall of Fame. Chris Sabin's backstage and he's at like this place and he wants Velvet's guy to come meet him so he can make things right. Yeah, I can't believe they didn't drop this either. They did not drop the storyline, no. So we get Curry Man. I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of wanted to see how this guy would work in the win, but I didn't get to because I don't even know if he was having a match with Bully Ray or not because Bully Ray just came out randomly, and I don't even know if he was supposed to face Bully Ray or if Bully Ray just came out and before his opponent could. So I'm not exactly too sure about that. But Bully Ray big boots him and power drives him and puts him in the casket. I like that they made him look strong going into his match with Mr. Anderson. Yeah, but I'm not. Other than that, I wasn't really a big fan of this. Austin Aries promo. He comes out and talks about how he's held every major championship in the in TNA, including the World Heavyweight Championship, and he created Option C to be able to cash in the X Division Championship for a world title shot. And he says he intends on doing that. And he intends on doing that again. And then before this can happen, the Bromans, which is Jesse Goddard and Robbie E, tag team champions. They should not even be the tag team champions. Come out, and Austin Aries is like, "What are you doing? Did you get lost? Did you think this was the tanning salon?" But it was a distraction. Zima Ion, who had attacked him from behind, and he won like the Feast of Fire briefcase thing, like Gunner has the world title shot. So if Zima Ion has the X Division Championship shot, and he cashes it in tonight, Zima Ion before the match, like he asks Chrissy Hemme make the announcement, and before she can really make it, he starts covering Austin Aries, and he kicks out a bunch of times. He just completely beats the crap out of Austin Aries. Top toe holds him to the barricade, drop kicks him. Did he got in the ring and did like a sprint and did like a tornado DDT to Austin Aries, but he kicked out of that. And then Austin Aries finally did some moves, did the drop kick into the turnbuckle and hit the brainbuster and retained his X Division Championship. I guess I was fine with this because I'm not a huge fan. Like, I thought they were going to want to put the X Division champion on Zima Iron and make all, like, the Bromans group, like, all champions. But I like Austin Aries, and I like him as X Division champion. And it makes it unpredictable, too. Like, you're not going to, just because you win the Feast of Fire briefcase doesn't mean you're going to guarantee to become a champion. So, I thought this was fine. And this is like the WWE Money in the Bank, except I like that they have it for every title, so every title looks credible. I think they have it for the tag. I'm not sure about the knockouts. And they have it for the world, and Gunner still has that. I don't think Gunner should have it, but, you know, I think Gunner will cash it in soon. I don't know when. I don't know if like you have a certain amount of time to cash it in, like you do in with the Money in the Bank. And then Dixie Carter and Rockstar Spud are backstage, and we hear somebody come in, and they think it's MVP, but it's Ethan Carter the third. And Dixie Carter's like, oh, it's just Ethan. And Ethan Carter the third gets all pissed. It's like, what do you mean it's just Ethan? What are you talking about? And he's like, you know, I haven't been paying attention to me lately. I'm your own flesh and blood. And Dixie Carter says, don't worry, we're gonna talk next. We'll talk next week. Just I need to focus on this investor right now. And I think he's still kind of pissed. And then Samuel Shaw, or Dexter, whatever you want to call him, and Christy Hemme are backstage, and I guess Christy Hemme had saw that salon, what's it called? That shrine that that Samuel made for her, and and she goes, "You're weird," and he's like, "I like to collect hair of beautiful people," and then she says, "I want to keep this just professional," so she pretty much I think breaks up with him, and that's about it. Um, like I said before, it's probably gonna lead to like this angle where he ends up kidnapping Christy Hemme, and it looks like that's what's gonna happen, and he's gonna who even knows what's gonna happen with that, you know? So I'm not a huge fan of this. Dexter just made an TNA appearance, and yeah, people thought Christian from WWE or Christian Cage from TNA, whatever you want to call him, looked like Dexter, but no, um, Samuel Shaw does. And then Bobby Roode backstage, and he's pissed that he has to do this world title that he has to compete for an opportunity to become the world heavyweight champion. But after everything he's done for Dixie Carter, he's done everything for her. He's gotten rid of Stin, everybody. Magnus comes up and says, "I don't need you to get rid of Stin, and you had a job to do. You weren't when Dixie Carter tells you to do something, you do it. It's not an option." Um, and they kind of go back and forth, and then eventually, they talk. Bobby Roode talks about how like last time you fought Samoa Joe, you ended up tapping out, but Magnus says I got more plot. I let my brains get better of my pride. When the championship's on the line, I won't be tapping out, and that's about it. I think Samoa Joe is the number one. I just gave away who won the match. Sorry. Um, so MVP arrives. He finally shows up backstage at Dixie Carter, and they're talking. And Dixie Carter's kind of introducing herself, talking about every superstar, talking like positive about herself. How every superstar wants to be with her, loves working with her. All the fans love Dixie Carter, just kind of putting herself over. And then MVP's kind of like, but wait a minute, what about Jeff Hardy? What about Sting? What about AJ Styles? They left you, and you kicked them to the curb. And then Dixie Carter's like, well, sometimes when employees don't do what you want them to do, you gotta let them go. And then Dixie Carter's ready to talk about the changes, but MVP wants to do it in the ring, and she agrees to do this. Then we get Kurt Angle versus Magnus. I knew this match was gonna end early, right when Angle hit his Angle Slam, like 3 minutes in the match, and Angle ended up getting him in the ankle lock. And Ethan Carter the third came out and attacked Angle's leg, went after his leg. Kurt Angle tries to fight him off, but EC3 grabs a chair, hits him in the leg, and then he gets him into like the submission hold. I think it was like half of a figure four, and breaks Kurt Angle's knee and ends up getting stretched out. I think every time I always see Kurt Angle get stretched out somehow. He got stretched out when Mike Knox from the Aces and Eights attacked him. He got stretched out when we thought he was going to when he lost to Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory. Now he got stretched out again. It's like I don't really care to see him on a stretch. It's like TNA wants to put him on a stretcher. Um, this match was good. Well, actually, no. I mean, This was great. Ethan Carter the third looked strong. I was just kind of disappointed because I think Magnus and Kurt Angle would have had a great match, but you know, they wanted to build Ethan Carter the third, I guess. There we go. And then Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle are backstage. He's still being, I think, like taken to the hospital. And Samoa Joe's pissed, and he says, "If you want to take down Kurt Angle, and you want to take down everybody, and I have to fight this war alone, I will. You want to take me down? Come take me down." Pretty much what he says. And then Eric Young gets interviewed and says, why did he want to do the Monster Ball match? And he says he wanted to prove to Joseph Park that he's Abyss. That's pretty much what it was. Why not, right? Um, and then Chris Saban's backstage again, and he talks about how like that the place that they're at is the place where Chris Saban and Velvet Sky had their first kiss, and she wants to he wants to recreate that moment. Yeah, that's about it. And then she finally shows up, and then later on he went to commercial, comes back, and then Chris Saban ends up saying like talking like romantic, like my whole world at him when you said it's over, and yeah, I kind of like leading her on, and he ends up having like a case with a ring in it, well, in it, like he's gonna propose to her, but he's like, will you get out of my life forever? It ends up being no ring, and he says, when I was the world champion, everyone always talked about you, Velvet Sky, not me, and like you're the superstar. So next week, he challenges her to a one-on-one match next week, and if she doesn't show up, she must be a coward. And he's like, you don't say when it's over, I say when it's over. This was lame. They should have just dropped the storyline. They should have never started the storyline. Chris Sabin being a heel is awful. I think that he should just go back. He should be a babyface. I feel like when he's a heel, he looks weak as hell. So, babyface Chris Sabin. That would be nice, please. Um, Then Bobby Roode versus Samoa Joe, and winner becomes the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Decent match. I didn't think it was as great as I expected it to be, but Samoa Joe ends up getting Bobby Roode into the rear naked choke for the win. That was fine, and becomes the #1 contender. And then Dixie Carter and MVP are talking about their summit, and Dixie Carter kind of puts over Magnus. She says that like everyone wants to try to be Magnus, but they can't, and everyone loves Dixie Carter. And MVP wants to start talking about the changes, and he says that he's going to put a stop to everything that Dixie Carter's done. She's the reason why this company is going downhill. And if you think I'm going to be here to be like a butler, like all the other investors, you're wrong. And the show ends. I thought this was a good show, but like I think once I got home, because I watched this in two parts. I think after the Kurt Angle thing, I just kind of was you know. I did like the fact that they tried to have Zema Ion cash in the X Division Championship title shot. Then, I liked the match between Abyss and Eric Gunn. It was a good way to start off the show. I liked the current Ethan Carter, the third stuff. I like MVP in this role. I think he's gonna be great in this business role. He has like that business look to him. And I'm a fan of MVP too, so it's like yeah. I like that they made Bully Ray look strong in this show. I didn't mind the match between Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode. I was expecting a little bit better though, since they are good wrestlers, and we think that they'd be a little bit better. Trying to think of something else. And then they had that, yeah, that's about it. So, I just don't want to see that Chris Sabin Velvet Sky match next week, but I'm kind of looking for, I guess, yeah, we get to see Bully Ray versus Mr. Anderson in a casket match next week. That shouldn't be too bad. The future's kind of there to me. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Click on all the stuff in the bottom and subscribe to it. And I'm going to say, peace out, motherfuckers.